Hello and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division. I am the Crushinator and I will be your host for tonight's matchup between Baka Boys and Dead Game Players. This is day number 1 of our Storm Division qualifier number 2, and we are getting set up for our play-in game here, the winner of which will immediately be going into the second matchup of the night against Anti-Clown Association. Looks like the teams are rearing and ready to go. So while I've got a quick moment to take a look at the map bans here, we see that Baka Boys banned away Tomb of the Spider Queen and Cursed Hollow, and it was Dead Game Players banning away Towers of Doom and Sky Temple. It will be Baka Boys taking us to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 1. And here we go. The draft is underway. While I've got you for a second as the draft is developing, the Storm Division does have a prize pool. You can go right now to Matcherino. Just put !Matcherino in the chat. You can go to the coupon code for donation, put in the code STORM2, that's capital S in the Storm, capital S and the number 2, and you can donate a quarter for free. No credit card information required, no nothing. Put in the code, create a quarter for our teams competing in the second season of Storm Division. Just put !Matcherino in the chat and we'll see all about it. All right, the plug is done. Let's get into the draft here as we see Dead Game Players banning away Li Ming, a premium race hero here on Battlefield of Eternity. Kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to race and team fight. We're going to see the Baka Boys taking out Chromie, another long-distance poke mage. Not quite the same race as Li Ming, but still quite the team fight and very good control over the sort of treacherous middle section here on Battlefield of Eternity. One thing to mention, there are several other games happening tonight. Wildheart Omega versus Bronze 6 is going on right now over at twitch.tv/JinxieCat. We've got One Direction versus Phoenix Rising Esports over at twitch.tv/MurdaRG, and Wildheart Alpha versus the Fool's Gambit is taking place over at twitch.tv/Bonkai. That's BANKEEI. So you can catch all of the Storm Division action that's happening today. Dead Game Players gonna take out the Hogger. Hogger's still not nerfed, though. We're expecting that to come on through next week if, the win rates have anything to say about it. And Baka Boys will round out this ban phase with a Cassia. So, strong heroes all around. We see Dead Game Players choosing to favor the map pick of Li Ming in their bans, and they're actually going to open things up here with a Gazlo. Gazlo has lost a little bit of favor in the solo lane just because doing the double rotate is not as strong on the Gazlo. But we're on Battlefield of Eternity. We don't have to do the double soaking. We can just control that space, keep that lane nice and even, and come on in and get the big team fight combo. Tychus and Ana will be the picks here for Bob and Scooney. Tychus very strong at shredding those tanks. Ana able to set up those picks with the long-distance sleep darts. XYZ territory, bringing in the first tank of the game here with Johanna. Good pick into Tychus for sure. And Naive Bay is going to actually grab a Hanzo. Don't get to see a lot of Hanzo, but Hanzo is one of those heroes that you can take for Immortal Burn. If you go with that Scattershot build, that W build, that really ramps up into the sort of mid-game and the late game in terms of getting that Immortal Burn very, very quickly. So update players, there we go. It's going to be a Stukov ban coming out here from the Baka Boys, controlling those high-priority healers, taking the Ana and banning out the Stukov. With the Stukov ban, that makes me think that Baka Boys might want to take a more heavy engage. It's hard to engage really hard into a Stukov due to both of those ults and due to the Silence Song. And responding well here is Dead Game Players, seeing that and taking away the Diablo. Tremendous synergy with the Tychus, and something that Stukov is actually pretty good at rebuffing. So I like that ban an awful lot here coming out from Dead Game Players. Next two picks, Baka Boys thinking about what they want to take into this. It's going to be the Sylvanas from Halcyon. Very strong on battlefield in terms of turning a push into even more. And it's going to be May coming on out here for C10. Interesting pivot there. They've got the Tychus for tank burn. May, not exactly the diviest tank. Kind of has to leave her team out in the open. She wants to get into that back line. But with Sylvanas on the flanks and Ana supporting Tychus, I think that might work out. We'll just have to see how it goes forward.
Balloon, grant us strength.
It's going to be a Malfurion and a Greymane to round things out here for dead game players. Interesting setup here. So going for the extra race in the Greymane. And Malfurion to try to lock down these targets. Malfurion, of course, can take the route to land on May during trait to help burn down that enemy tank. What will be the final pick here? Just in case is going to lock in the Vikings. Get that extreme macro presence here on the side of Baka Boys. Tychus for Bob. It looks like they were thinking about a switch. Yeah, C10 is over on the Sylvanas now, and Halcyon is going to be playing the May. All right. Game number 1. About to be set up here. Baka Boys versus dead game players here on Battlefield of Eternity. Taking a quick look at the comps once again as we load into our first map of the day. Interesting setup here on the side of Baka Boys. They don't have really reliable CC with that Ana May to help set up the Tychus, but they do have an awful lot of slows to hopefully control whoever they get a hold of. And the Vikings are always just a wild card you have to watch out for. We'll see if dead game players can respond well to this sort of pocket pick coming out from just in case. Loading on in here. Who's the slow one? Who's on the potato computer? Is it me? Wouldn't that be a shame? Alrighty. Loading on in to our first map of the night. On the left in the blue, Scooney playing the Ana just in case on that Lost Vikings. Bob is playing Tychus. Halcyon on the May, and C10 Ver HD1. It is Baka Boys. On the right in the red, Hysteria on the Greymane, Naive Bays on the Hanzo, XYZ Territory on the Johanna, TLDP is on the Malfurion, and N Dinoscos on the Gazlo. It is dead game players.
2, 1. To arms.
Loading on into our first game here. It is going to be the W build to start for Hanzo, looking for those stacks on heroes. No other questing talents to be found so far, so it'll be to see who can control the wave clear in the early going, who can get a pick to hopefully control that bottom camp. And it is going to be a full stack of 3 Vikings versus that Gazlo in the top lane. So we see Halcyon waiting to move on in. XYZ Territory actually getting Bob down to half health. There's the Blizzard from Halcyon. Gonna try to cut off too, but Tychus has been blown. Hysteria moves in, needs just one more swipe. Hanzo is actually taken down in the background, but the trade is good and Tychus is down. So fireworks flying here in the early going between these two teams. Halcyon with a nice Blizzard, going to push back Greymane and Malfurion, and it looks like these teams are just going to go ahead and reset. Very, very aggressive off the bat for our two teams so far. The Blizzard is not going to catch Hysteria. Looks like Greymane is going to start to back out as our 2 murdered members return to the battlefield. Checking quickly on our top lane matchup, it looks like Gazlo has the advantage in the wave clear so far. Either one of them have mana to be expended, so that should be a very interesting matchup indeed. Gazlo does have pretty good regen, especially against Vikings. If they end up grouping up, that laser could get a lot of self-healing done. May could be caught on the wrong side of things, does end up getting caught in the root. Hysteria choosing not to go in, probably for the best there, as there were still 3 members surrounding Halcyon. Baka Boys thinking about starting up this camp. Bob is going to keep on firing away, but XYZ Territory is here and waiting. So no one able to control the camp in the bottom lane for now. We are approaching the 2-minute mark, so these teams are going to start to think about getting their camps on the field, getting their Shaman camps started. As once again, we see Halcyon targeted here by Hanzo. Greymane almost getting on top of Tychus there. Has to roll away. Halcyon going in for the save. Has to pop that trade, and there is Ana with the healing. That does go through that ice block. So that is going to be a pretty potent combination here for Baka Boys. 2 minutes 30, we're going to start seeing the objective pop in just a moment. Looks like Gazlo is starting to get the better of this matchup for the time being. Though once the Immortal phase starts, I expect to see the Vikings split into 2 lanes, and there it is. Balog already down in the bottom lane, soaking away here for the Baka Boys. Dead game players over on the right-hand side going to time out their Shaman camp at the same time. Looks like Baka Boys got theirs a little bit early, but that is going to give them the opportunity to jump on down to this Khazra camp and get that going. Luckily for them, Dead Game Players has not started their race right away, so getting a small macro advantage by getting the extra camp. Hysteria manages to get away there, but we've got a double camp pushing in the bottom lane, and right now, looks like Eric is actually the only one on the race for the meantime. Balog is going to come up to help as well, as Gazlo choosing to just push away in the top lane. The rest of Baka Boys using this double camp, using this Sylvanas to get as much siege as they probably would get with the objective. Nice slide in from Halcyon, and that is going to be it for TLDP. Hysteria jumping onto Sylvanas. Balog actually going to be taken out, but Johanna falling. Sylvanas actually going down as well. Another bloodbath, but this time Dead Game Players losing 2 important heroes. That's going to allow Baka Boys to get on the race here. Gazlo still duking it out with Olaf in the top lane, trying to get back on that XP. We see level 7 has arrived here for Baka Boys. Actually slightly behind on the minions, only a little bit ahead due to those mercenaries and that extra hero kill so far. But they're in position to start this race. Halcyon and Scooney heading on up just to make sure that there's no funny business, no extra race going on. And this Immortal is going to be going with pretty high shield over to the Baka Boys. Very, very healthy Immortal, going to be pushing this top lane. Doesn't give it a whole lot of extra health, as it is still the first Immortal of the game, but that amount of shielding, along with a Sylvanas trait, could get more than just a fort here. But it looks like they're actually going to split. They're going to use this Sylvanas trait in the bottom lane. Gazlo throwing out the bombs, throwing out those Explodium charges, but it's a full split here coming in from Baka Boys. They're going to move up past this fort with this minion wave tanking it. Going to go ahead and take it out. Nice Blizzard on top of Dynasco's. Gazlo's actually going to get away here, so it's still a full split. The Vikings are in the top lane. This is something that you do see sometimes here on Battlefield of Eternity, especially with a Sylvanas. You can get as much or even more done in the off lanes when you get that first Immortal. But here come the rest of Dead Game Players. They're on the chase. C10 trying to get away here. Nice sleep dart onto 2 by Scooney. Looks like he's going to secure the escape here for the rest of Baka Boys. Meantime, Vikings in the top lane, just in case. Soaking with Eric, got Balog and Olaf on top of this top camp. Gazlo not going to be here in time to do anything about it. Just going to have to try to soak level 10 here. The rest of Dead Game Players thinking about a rotation, thinking about their next move, but without this bottom fort, that's a lot of the map that they don't have to rotate with. Level 10 coming in here for Baka Boys. We do have the play again for the Vikings, so no longbow today. It's going to be the Wailing Arrow, Nano Boost, Avalanche coming in from May. As we see Halcyon moving up to the top lane to keep harassing this Gazlo. And Tychus still holding that pick. Not sure if it's going to be the Drill or the Odin. As we get set up for our next objective here in just a few seconds. Oh, Johanna caught moving across the middle of the map, but the Iron Skin is good. Doesn't have it anymore, though. Look at the Vikings cutting off the retreat. That is going to be it for Johanna. It did end up being that nano-boosted Odin for Bob on that Tychus. And with the kill on Johanna, it looks like Baka Boys can do whatever they want here. Avalanche is going to miss Dynasco's. But the trait of Sylvanas is on this fort. Tychus has to be a little bit careful here. Taking a few too many fort shots, gonna have to move out of range. It looks like the fort is gonna be saved for the meantime. Objective has come up though. Johanna only just now back on the battlefield trying to catch the bottom soak and catch level 10. Dead game players have their ultimates and they've got to think about moving in soon because Baka boys are about to trip halftime here. One more hit, that's going to be it. Level 10's on the side of dead game players. We're looking at the go for the throat. Dragon arrow, bless shield. There's that dragon arrow. Actually, Eric taken out quickly there by Hysteria. Jumps onto Halcyon, but May with that high health pool. Gonna get away. Tychus not gonna be so lucky though. The poke coming out from Hanzo is really messing up May so far. And dead game players turn that fight around with their level 10s. And they're gonna go ahead and start their race. Sylvanas caught there by XYZ. Halcyon trying to throw the blinds onto Greymane to slow down this race. Gets the bump onto Naive. Gravel Bomb is not going to catch May, but that's the trait burned. May in a little bit of trouble here, very low health. Oh, the stun onto Johanna. XYZ's got to be careful. A double immortal stun is going to catch Hanzo and Malfurion. Johanna's going to go down. The counter kill is good onto Sylvanas and Olaf, but Hysteria going to go down to the rest of the Baka boys. Gazlo has been able to back off, but just getting caught in the wrong place under that immortal turns that fight right back into the favor of the Baka boys. It's not going to be quite the level of shield as before, but it will have as much, if not more health. Balog going to go ahead and start up this camp, because why not? Right side camp going to be taken as a consolation prize here by dead game players. Halcyon throws out the Blizzard just to check. We'll catch a couple in the stun, but the camp has already been taken. Are we going to see a split again coming out from Baka boys? No, it looks like they are going to go to the top lane. Shaman camp will be used to split the off lane along with the Vikings. Got the Immortal pushing onto this top fort. C10 moving onto the outside, putting some good damage onto Gazlo. Look at that Blizzard. Gazlo going to be in some trouble here. The stun is in. Puts out the Gravel Bomb. The Dragon Arrow hits as well. XYZ grouping him up. Hysteria trying to get some kills here. Great silence. Going to get the counter kill onto Ana and Sylvanas. Bob looking like they're in trouble too. Tychus going down. So once again, dead game players looking like they've got a very coordinated team fight. Able to wipe up the Baka boys and move on to this objective, but their map presence right now is not looking so hot. The Vikings with this camp did manage to take bottom keep. So dead game players are going to have to do more than just win fights on the back of lost objectives if they want to get back into this game. But the catch-up XP is definitely going to come into play. We'll see if they can get even fight on 16 as we approach that talent tier. Hysteria jumping right onto the camp, but Justin sees them. Halcyon coming on through as well. This could be trouble here for dead game players. Naive Bay is taking some big damage in the back line. May wants to keep them there. Nice Blizzard forcing Hanzo to back off. XYZ's going to move on to the point for this camp, as we've got a full-blown team fight once again. The Dragon Arrow is going to whiff. C10 on the back line, trying to get away. Warps back through, but there's Greymane jump on in. A great combo by Gazlo, catches two. That's Malfurion and Johanna down, but Sylvanas and Olaf as well. It's a total bloodbath. Hanzo, Tychus are down, so is Greymane. Gazlo somehow still alive, but finally falls. The Baka boys, with that 16 advantage that they gained during that fight, pick up the camp and pick up the pentakill.
Prepare yourselves. I will reach your position shortly.
We'd have Immortals spawning in about 25 seconds here. Halcyon waiting to go. The death timers are still very short, and without Sylvanas and Tychus, Baka boys can just wait for this objective. Vikings going to head up to the top lane to get some pressure with this camp, while the rest of dead game players just goes ahead and tries to maintain their lanes and try to get in position for another fight. But the macro presence of Baka Boys means that they get the control of the map. They get to move on to this objective. You see Justin using that Eric to dismount and slow the engage of dead game players. Very nicely done here. Odin is going to be popped by Bob, so Tyka's in for the long haul, throwing out those abilities. Halcyon coming around the edge is right in the middle of the enemy team. This could be trouble here for Halcyon. Drops the Blizzard to try to split the squad. Just try to start walking out now. Sleep Dart not going to land. Halftime has been triggered. Olaf lands the stun there onto Hysteria, allowing Tychus to start getting those autos. Halcyon just living forever in that backline. There's the nano-boosted Sylvanas trying to get some damage in, but Greymane actually taken out by Tychus with the fadeaway. Avalanche onto 3 here. Great silencing arrow. Look at that damage. Malfurion, Gazlo, and Hanzo taken out in the blink of an eye. It's another quad kill here for Baka Boys, and this looks like the push that will end it. They're going to be going through the top keep. It's still 14 seconds till Greymane's back on the field, and it's a full push from Baka Boys onto the core. 2 catapults in the top lane, 1 and a Khazra in the bottom lane, and this is going to be it. Game number 1 in convincing fashion with that Vikings play is going to go over to Baka Boys. GG. Very, very well done there. Good control of the map, good understanding of the win condition there from Baka Boys, using that Sylvanas to get split push pressure on the opposite side of the Immortal left. Dead game players sort of scrambling there. They got the team fights that they wanted, but the macro was just too much. Very well done. Bob on that Tychus just edging out C10 on the Sylvanas for max damage at the end of the game there at nearly 47,000. Hysteria popping off in a few of those fights. Top damage on the Greymane, which you don't often see because Greymane is often waiting for a chance to go in and do damage. Doesn't often get a lot of poke in. Almost 37k there for dead game players. Take a quick look at the talent screen. Get ourselves set up for game number 2 here. Alrighty. We are going to take some time, get set up for game number 2. In the meantime, we're going to go to a break. Don't forget Matcherino for Storm Division. You can head on over to our Matcherino page, put in the code STORMS2, contribute 25 cents to the prize pool for free. And if you want to contribute more, there's some great incentives there. Just check out the website and you'll see what it's all about. We're going to go to the break, but when we come back, it's going to be game number 2 between Baka Boys and dead game players. Don't go far. Alrighty, welcome back. We're getting set up here for game number 2 between Baka Boys and dead game players. Baka Boys going up 1-0 there on Battlefield of Eternity, and we are getting ready for our next map, which is going to be Braxis Holdout. Looks like our teams want to get this underway right away, so let's get right into the draft as I remind you of the map bans for this series. Tomb of the Spider Queen, Cursed Hollow, Towers of Doom, and Sky Temple are off the table for this series. Battlefield of Eternity taken there by Baka Boys, and now it is dead game players that are choosing to take us to Braxis Holdout. Another 2-lane map here for game number 2. It will be Baka Boys with first pick this time. So we'll see what their priorities are. I would say probably not going to be a Vikings on Braxis. However, if you're willing to take Vikings on Battlefield of Eternity, you're probably willing to take Vikings on Braxis. I mean, not the greatest in terms of wave clear, but in terms of harassing the enemy solo laner and soaking the wave and trying to hold the point. If you're skilled enough, if you feel like you've got the matchup, I think you could probably do it. Hogger taken out first by Baka Bois. Dead game player's going to think about their next ban here. What I'm interested to see from these teams is if they're going to do anything offbeat. I mean, we normally see it's just, the solo lane matchup in the top, the 4-stack in the bottom lane, and you just see who's superior. But if you draft something like a Medivh, something like a Genji, something that can quickly traverse the map, even a Brightwing can go and help out and sort of tilt those matchups for a quick minute and really throw some chaos into Brax's holdout. That's what I want to see here. Dead game player is going to respect the Vikings here. Ban that away from just in case. Baka Bois. Considering what they don't want to see on Brax's holdout. In terms of stuff you want to pick, in terms of stuff you want to ban, Brax's holdout is often decided early. Early game heroes are especially powerful. Anything with zone control, especially powerful. As we see Chromie and Cassia taken off the board by our two squads. So, Baka Bois with the first pick. Will not be a Vikings, so we don't get 2 Viking games in a row. But lots of great options on the board here. See what they want to favor. We saw the Mei coming out from Halcyon last time, along with the Tychus Sylvanas. I could see a Sylvanas coming on through. I mean, it's a similar sort of style you're pushing with the AI. It's going to be the Tychus, though. It's going to be just in case on it this time. Bob played it last game. Just in case is going to lock it for now. Dead game player is going to have to respond to this Tychus once again. We saw them respond with Johanna last time, which is decent enough for Brax's holdout as well. XYZ going to reprise the role here. And what is going to be their backup? It's going to be Deckard this time. TLDP not going to go with the Malfurion, instead going to go with the sort of longer range, better point control, I'd say, in Deckard. Now, one thing I'm interested, with this being a point control map, could we see a Lornado come on out from Deckard? Like, it's a little bit difficult to get great stay-a-whiles, or get the opportunity for great stay-a-whiles just because of how this match flows. It's always a great threat, but having a Lornado in your face all the time is pretty rough too. Just saying. Just saying. Halcyon going to favor the ETC this time. C10 going straight back to the Sylvanas, so it's the same duo in damage here for Baka Bois. Next ban, dead game players. If they want to remove the healer option from Baka Bois, it would be the Ana. Instead, they're going to focus on the offlane a little bit. Not interested in picking the Rexars, so they're going to go ahead and ban it. Baka Bois looking at the Johanna Deckard, all the damage options still on the board there, as well as the offlane. We have a couple, 3 offlane bans so far in the Vikings, Rexar, and Hogger. If they're feeling comfortable with their options, they could choose to ban out another one. Instead, going to ban out the Genji, so not interested in dealing with the rotational possibilities of something that like a Genji provides. So that leaves 2 picks over on the side of dead game players. They've got to lock in some damage here. They've got to think about their offlane. So I would expect them to leave their offlane pick to last, since they'll have the opportunity to respond to the full comp here of Baka Bois. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Naive Bays on the Jaina. It's going to be Hysteria playing the Raynor here. So just going for maximum slows and roots to try to empower that Raynor. Wouldn't surprise me if we saw an ace in the hole on level 1 there to try to carry with that poke damage. Last 2 picks here. Baka Bois going to take that Ana once again. Scooney playing that for a 2nd game in a row. And Bob is going to take some Imperious. Interesting. That's going to be a Chen here for Dynascos. We don't see an awful lot of Imperious offlane anymore. We tend to see him in sort of that tank role with someone else to enable the engage or follow up. So we'll have to see what the lane setup is here for Baka Boys. It's possible you send ETC top? We'll have to see how they do it. Game number 2, Baka Boys versus Dead Game Players here on Praxis. Hold out. Baka Boys has a chance to close up this series. Dead Game Players looking to stay alive here in our second Storm Division qualifier. I've got to think Chen's got a better matchup against both ETC and Imperius in that top lane. Interested to see, do they put the Tychus up there? Just try to bully the Chen. Tychus doesn't have a lot of regen, though. They need some help from Scooney eventually. To see how they play it. Loading in here, though. Getting to game number 2.
Facility powering up.
On the left in the blue, Halcyon is going to be playing the ETC C10 on the Sylvanas, just in case playing that Tychus. Scooney on the Ana, and it will be Bob on the Imperius. It is Baka Boys. On the right, in the red, XYZ territory. On the Johanna, TLDP. Playing that Deckard. Hysteria is on the Raynor. Naive Bays on the Jaina. And it is Dynascos on the Chen. It is Dead Game Players.
1. Facility
Here we go. It actually is going to be Executioner here for Raynor. Going to try to get some extra Zerg clear. A little bit of extra camp clear out of our Raynor. Jaina going to be looking to pick up some globes to extend that mana pool early. Imperius still thinking about that level 1 pick, as it is going to be Imperius versus Chen in that top lane matchup. Will be that burn the Impure. Try to get a little % damage onto the big boy Chen. XYZ moves on up there. C10 able to use the Haunting Wave to get away. Deckard gets the quick route there onto Tychus. Hysteria. And some good damage, staying just out of Just In Case's range. As we see Halcyon trying to bully that globe. Looks like they got it. ETC managing to pick that up. Uh-oh, the slide combo onto Hysteria. Raynor trying to turn this thing around as Just In Case backing up with the overkill. Once again, oh, C10 trying to get the last hit onto Hysteria, but goes down as first blood in this game. Johanna Jaina is going to be wrapping up these waves very, very quickly. Tychus wave clear really comes online at 7 with Melting Point. It's not horrible before that, but it's really, really good at 7. Sylvanas, pretty decent wave clear, so it's not like Baka Boys are totally outclassed in this department, but versus Johanna Jaina, they are definitely going to be playing catch-up here. Checking our top lane matchup, looks like Bob is getting a little bit stressed on mana here. Dynus goes back to trying to get healed up, down to about half health there. But of course, Chen runs on Brew. No mana here. Halcyon gonna slide there onto XYZ. Johanna able to squeeze away there. That means Baka Boys are gonna control this point and start progress on this objective. Johanna trying to move up onto the point. There's the trait of Tychus working on that health pool. Right into the back there is Halcyon. ETC could be in some trouble here. Going down to half health, trying to escape. Hysteria on the chase, has to turn on to Just In Case as XYZ territory. In all sorts of trouble there. That's going to allow C10 to warp on in. And we've got very, very low mana bars over on the side of Dead Game Players. They've been using a ton of mana to clear these waves. And it looks like Naive Bays could be in all sorts of trouble. Oh, the poison of Sylvanas not quite enough. It looks like the kill pressure coming on out from Baka Boys is enough to secure the first objective of the game by quite a wide margin here. Dynus goes in trouble as well. Looked like maybe they tanked a few of those Banelings there. Bob on the Imperius is also able to put out some pretty good damage. Have to check the replays if you want to see how that matchup went in the early going. The rest of Dead Game Players going to go ahead and clear this wave. Meanwhile, though, Baka Boys has moved up onto the wall. That Sylvanas trait once again showing value, turning off these structures. So even without a minion wave, the Baka Boys can get work done here. Looks like the Zerg wave Going to be pretty much cleaned up. The rest of Dead Game players going to rotate back down to the bottom lane to try to meet the challenge. Is this push here from Baka Bois? Everyone's back. Looks like Sylvanas has the Haunting Wave to get away from the Condemn. And we are back at it here as Hysteria moving on up. They can't quite get the root onto Halcyon. And we are pretty much back to stalemate here as we approach objective number 2. Nice sleep there onto Raynor. Uh-oh, Johanna may have been a little too aggressive with that Condemn, is punished for it. XYZ is going to go down. What can Baka Bois do with this advantage? They've got the Sylvanas. Trait not quite available yet. It's going to be really tough to push into this wave clear of Raynor and Jaina. It looks like they're actually going to back off and try to start their camp. That's going to give Baka Bois the opportunity to continue the push in the bottom lane unimpeded. I'm not sure about this call here. They're down 7-6, but they're going to give up some very, very important ground here as we move into our second point. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Bob seems to be just terrorizing Chen here. Just ready to throw that Burn the Impure on top of Chen whenever they want. Cruiser Camp was picked up here by Dead Game players. That will give them a little bit of relief down here in the bottom lane. Halcyon was looking for a slide opportunity, decides to go onto Raynor, slides right past that Jaina Blizzard, and escapes through the top corridor there. Just fishing, just looking for an opportunity. Not a full engage. Nice angle there by Halcyon to not get trapped on the wrong side. Ooh, slide through is not going to be good onto XYZ. There's the pull onto C10. Sylvanas trying to hold that Haunting Wave, manages to get on out of there. Scooney keeping everyone very, very healthy over on the side of Baka Bois. Just in case, boosting on forward. Halcyon looking for a slide. Nice knockback. Hysteria pushing back ETC to avoid the slide, instead going after Johanna. Once again, the trade has been popped. C10 moving on up, and once again, Jaina on basically no mana is going to be a problem here for Dead Game players. Going to have to see Naive Bays back again while this objective is running. Chen just getting bullied hard. This is not how I imagined this matchup going, but Bob doing a great, great job versus the big boy there in the top lane. Gonna go double back and start this progress once again. The wave of Zerg will be in the bottom lane this time for Baka Bois. So they're gonna go ahead and start up this Hellbat camp. Halcyon trying to hold the point for now. XYZ coming around the outside. Nice knockback. It's going to allow Halcyon to slide on through to safety. Hellbat's coming on through. Sylvanas with that Merc Queen will empower them well in range. Ooh, Sleep Dart not going to land there onto Ana. Furia still just bullying Chen in that top lane. As Johanna tanking all the CC there, but still, Baka Bois slides on through. The great body blocks onto Naive Bays. There's the chase overkill. Gonna be enough for just in case there as the 10s are online. Hysteria. Oh, the stage dive not gonna land. Halcyon looks for a slide. Can't get it. But still with Jaina dead. XYZ, oh, has the Iron Skin just in time. C10 looking for the chase. XYZ's got to be very careful here as Halcyon looking for a slide. Gonna push back XYZ. Can anyone get up there? The silence arrow! Enough to secure 2. Tychus with a double kill follow-up. And with Sylvanas here, this might take keep and it might take more. Banelings are going to crash into this wall and deal the majority of this tower damage. We've got a nearly full wave pushing onto this keep. Raynor and Johanna still dead here. So this keep was almost certainly going down, but if there can be some chain kills, there could possibly be more. Halcyon got to be careful here. Does get rooted. Dynasco's coming in from the outside. It is going to be the stay a while, but Halcyon gets away from the Condemn, tries to go through the bottom here. Blessed Shield is going to catch the members of Baka Bois. Ana going to go down for it just in case. Going to get caught by that Condemn, and it looks like Tychus will fall. So staying... I don't mind staying for that push. They're way ahead here. They get the keep. Unfortunately, they do get punished for it.
Eliminated.
Bob gonna have to be careful. Still mounted, gonna go ahead and get away.
I'll show them some excitement.
It depends on your school of philosophy. Yes, they overstayed. However, due to the state of the game, they could have possibly found a couple picks and ended. But if you just leave early, then you're in total control of the game, which you're winning anyway, and you're not giving the opponent an opportunity to come on back. So, I mean, it's like, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Are you gonna... Do you feel patient, or do you feel like you can take the victory right now? Going ahead and picking up this boss here, we'll have to see whether this is noticed by dead game players. We're already at half health as Tychus and Sylvanas are just shelling away here. I don't think dead game players knows this is happening. Chen is going to scout, but it's too late. Impale will not catch Dynascos. Stage dive onto the top lane is going to cut off Johanna here. That's the Iron Skin. Sylvanas on the chase as well. Great stun into Blizzard combo, though. Root is going to be there onto Sylvanas. The sleep is good. What a combo. Coming on out from dead game players. Bob being chased out by that water elemental. That's going to be it for Imperius. A double kill for dead game players. Once again showing when they get the team fight they want, they can get these kills. But the macro presence and the game-making decisions from Baka Boys have led them to a commanding position here on Braxis Holdout. Left side Hellbat going to be taken by Just In Case and Scooney. Halcyon going to try to get some clear onto this camp in the bottom lane. Beacons activating once again. Imperius and Sylvanas are back onto the battlefield. Big push in the bottom lane with this Hellbat will have to be dealt with. Bob comes in with the double impale there. Just letting them know that we're here. Oh, that's actually Water Elemental baited out there by Bob. Very nicely done. Naive Bay is going to have to back off and not get a ton of value out of this Water Elemental. As we see Bob and Just In Case trying to get this point. Dynascos moves into the backline, slowing down Tychus. The rest of the team a little bit behind here. As Scooney is there to support Just In Case. There's the impale by Bob, quickly interrupted by the condemn. Sylvanas was actually pushing in that camp, forcing a decision out of dead game players here. ETC coming around the outside is actually going to find the Jaina. The slide is good. C10 trying to throw out the extra damage. That's going to be it for Jaina. The blow up is good on the outside, but it looks like it could be a counter kill. Sylvanas not able to get out of there. Storm, Earth, and Fire from the Chen is onto the backline. TLDP able to get away, but once again, Bob and Halcyon just wreaking havoc. Anna's going to go down to the chase of Chen. Looks like Bob is in some trouble here. The root is good. Tries to impale to get on out of there, but that is going to be it for Imperius. Just In Case has this fort. Dynascos is going to die for it. Halcyon with the slide will secure the kill onto Chen there. Meanwhile, Core actually taken down to 91%. Dead game players trade 9% on the Core and 1 Chen for 4 enemy kills. We'll see whether they can turn this into some objective push, as there's still 2 members from Baka Boys that are yet to return to the battlefield. C10 looking to harass Hysteria there. Look at that chase. The Blessed Shield's not going to be enough, and Johanna's actually going to go down here. That's going to allow Baka Boys to move on up. They stalled the objective for now. XYZ going to have to get chased away. Johanna on low mana. It's Halcyon looking to play very aggressively once again, but with no Tychus and Imperius, this is a kind of a tough spot here for ETC. Naive throws the Ice Lance onto C10. XYZ saying, please can we leave? I really want to leave. Johanna's out, but may have gone at exactly the wrong time. Bob chasing down Deckard. Meanwhile, Dynasco's trying to get away with that stagger. Looks like Chen is going to survive, but that's going to allow Baka Boys with their level 16, brief level 16 advantage to keep channeling this objective, move on to this Hellbat camp. This is going to be a real tough defense coming in from dead game players. I think they've got to make something happen sooner rather than later. They need the team fight now if they're going to have any chance of clearing this wave. Cruiser camps taken in the bottom lane. Hellbat camp taken in the top lane along with an advancing Zerg wave. Halcyon thinking about a move in. There's the slide onto Chen. Dynascos moves onto C10 once again. XYZ, great follow-up. Look at that. The team fight once again going their way. A great silencing arrow from Sylvanas, but still going to go down to the Rainer. The rest of Dead Game players is on the chase. Chen is going to be pushed out of that Storm, Earth, and Fire. Naive Baze is low in the back, just trying to clear away this Zerg wave. Just in case with the Odin is going to try to aid this siege as well. But without Sylvanas, that's a lot of their sieging power gone. Can Baka boys get this keep? And can they follow up with these kills? Hysteria's pushed back, but there's Johanna with the counter-engage again. Sleep is going to be good onto one. Dynascos wants this kill onto Scooney. But the stagger damage, that's going to be enough for the counter onto Chen. Naive Baze getting away from Halcyon there as the stage dive was popped. Oh no, the wave! Oh, Jaina going to survive for now. Keep does go down here. XYZ moves on to Bob. Halcyon wants a slide. Thinks better of it. Starts to move back. So no keeps remaining here. For Dead Game players, they're in a real tough spot. They've been doing well in fights, and they've got to find more of them. They're even on levels, and wow, the boss up once again. I don't think Dead Game players even have the time to get here. Look at that burn coming in from Sylvanas and Tychus. This boss going to be marching down the lane here. Chen just now returning to the battlefield. The camp clear and the constant pressure here from Baka boys is so much to handle for Dead Game players. They're just trying to move up and clear these lanes, but there's so much to do. There's going to be a Hellbat camp in the bottom lane. The boss is threatening core in the top lane. We're going to have a follow-up Bruiser camp as well. The team is just not sure what to prioritize. It looks like Dead Game players going to move up to the top lane. Stage dive from Halcyon, going to try to keep this boss alive as much as possible. Slides on out for safety. C10 with the nano boost, trying to put some extra damage onto Chen. Dynascos is just lambasting the backline there. Silence onto the back of Sylvanas, trying to get the counter pressure as well. Storm, Earth, and Fire is all sorts of trouble for Zuni. Anna's going to go down here. C10 shelling away, but ETC falls as well. Jaina actually falling in the background. Boss gonna fall. There goes Chen. Boss taking the core down to 75%. Here comes the Bruiser camp. Once again, no ETC, no Ana is gonna force the members of Baka boys to move on back. So a little bit more percent on the core. Unfortunately, they do not have the beacons to move back to just yet. It's gonna come up in 25 seconds. As we see a stolen Hellbat camp, another camp to be dealt with. C10 going to get some health and mana here. Members of Baka boys already on the point. Ready to get that beacon flowing as soon as possible. Only 3 up here for Dead Game players for now. They're just going to have to move up, deal with this camp, deal with these catapults. Chen and Jaina now back on the battlefield. Where will they go? ETC Sylvanas back on the battlefield as well. 19 versus 19, but neither team can really, well, I should say, Baka boys can absolutely afford to wait. Dead Game players cannot afford any delay here. Oh no, Jaina. Oh no, Jaina. Halcyon gets the slide, and that is going to be it for Naive Baze. A little bit behind the pack, and Halcyon knew exactly where to go. The sleep is going to land onto 3. Anna's going to go down here. Tychus actually falls as well. The combos from Dead Game players have been tremendous, as Bob going to get chased down and killed as well. That's a 3 for 1. And Baka boys is rebuffed again. If they can't find a successful team fight here, this may slowly start to move back, and I mean slowly, in the way of Dead Game players. Core is being pushed in on both sides. These catapults are actually going to have to be dealt with here. Hysteria and TLDP going to move back to try to handle that. That's going to put XYZ in all sorts of trouble here. Iron Skin actually already used. This is going to be... Oh no, I don't think Johanna makes it out of here. Haunting Wave moves up to condemn. Oh, they don't chase. Chen was there in time to ward away Halcyon and C10. We're going to have a Zerg wave in the top lane for dead game players. They don't have a wave pushed up to help it out, but that will at least get them a little bit of counter pressure on the map as the Hellbats are being picked up here by C10 and Halcyon. Bottom lane Bruiser Camp grabbed by new game players. They're going to go ahead and clear out this small wave. Top wave going to be mostly cleared away by the big red button of Tychus. I don't think this fort is even going to fall. The cleave in the back is going to be good. We're kind of at a neutral game state once again here. Fort is going to be saved. Red game players get the clear in the bottom lane. And you got to wonder, how are they going to get back into this game? They've got the bottom lane has stopped bleeding for now. We're going to have 3 catapults stacking up in that top lane, along with this Bruiser Camp. Dynasco's keeping an eye on the boss. We're going to have a Hellbat camp in the top lane here for dead game players. Try to stop the bleeding in that top lane. Bob keeping an eye on Boss here, but Dynasco's will see it. Boss is actually going to be started. Halcyon along the outside sees Chen. Jaina is showing in the top lane. That's going to allow C10 to move down to the bottom lane and clear up this camp. Halcyon just keeping an eye on things. Dynasco shows, uh-oh, here comes the fight. Baka boys decide they're not going to take it. Bob trying to stay out of sight there. Boss is the only thing left on the map for these teams. Dead game players is actually moving to the top lane. That's going to allow Baka boys to get into a more aggressive position here. And they're not going to wait. They're going to jump on this boss straight away as the rest of the team is now showing in the top lane. They have no time to get here and contest this boss. Great timing coming on in here from Baka boys. And uh-oh, XYZ territory, they want this fight. The sleep dart is out. Baka boys trying to disengage, but Dynasco's is on top of them. There's the Hyperion. Big red button going to land into the backline along with the stage dive. Scooney and C10 trying to get away here. There's the Storm Earth and Fire stun on the backline. Imperious is going to fall. C10 all over Naive and Hysteria. Chen trying to get away here. Looks like Sylvanas trying to get the final kill, warping on in. That's not going to be enough. 2 dead on the side of Baka boys, but there's a boss pushing on the core. Can Halcyon stop the backs? No, the backs are going to come on through. 3 members up here, but the beacons are now activating, and there's 5 members clearing this boss. The boss is not going to do any damage to the core, but the Zerg wave is now started for Baka boys. They're going to get probably, I don't know, 30% on this. Halcyon going to try to buy some time here. 36%. As we are seeing one of the longer Braxis games. Welcome everyone from Jinxie Cat's stream. Oh my! I'm looking over at chat, welcoming everyone coming in from the other Storm Division qualifiers. Halcyon just casually stage dives the core and kills Jaina. Worth? Yeah. Yeah, that's worth. 4 people coming back to kill Halcyon means that this objective is going to start channeling once again. Odin is going to be popped here. There's the nano boost to try to get as many big red buttons on the core as possible. 39%. Just baiting the members of dead game players. That's going to be an objective pushing in. 16% on this core. Bob throws the swords, and looks like they aren't even going to need the Zerg wave. Anna, shoot it! Anna, no! Scooney backs out, but here come the Zerg. Oh, C10 was there. That's going to be it. Baka boys with the 2-0 will advance to face Anti-Clown Association. GG.